God, I fucking hate goat cheese. I'm never buying goat cheese again. Splash. Copyright Chris Move. I fucking love carrots. How's that for a fucking intro? How about 45 seconds of me eating fucking carrots? Welcome to Shot Sunday, your favorite new YouTube podcast where we do all sorts of shit. Well, and by all sorts of shit, I mean talk, right? I always wonder when Sabrina and Aaron are in their room and they're like watching TV, they're very clearly up right now. What do they think when I'm just sitting out here talking to myself into the camera? Right? I gotta sound like a fucking maniac. They know I do this, but whatever. I'm losing all sorts of thought today. Welcome back to Shot Sunday. We moved it to bi-weekly just so it's a little easier for me to come up with stuff to talk about, and you'll find that's not true at all. It's going to be just as directionless, just as sporadic, just as just as this, right? Nothing's gonna change. We're gonna work on getting timestamps in on this one, right? So we're just gonna evolve this one step at a time, right? Anyways, we'll just get it started with a shot for my good buddy, one of my best friends, Sierra, for finally getting out of this fucking department. God bless you. I hope I'm soon after. Cheers to that. Before I take this shot for Sierra, I got these from the store today. It was like 16 or 20 pack of like whiskey shots, like flavored whiskey shots. And I just kind of hope they taste good. I'm not really expecting a whole lot out of this, but I'm hoping it just goes down a little easy. But this one is peanut butter whiskey. Like, that can't be bad, right? Cheers. It's actually pretty tasty. No, honestly, that was pretty good. Okay. Never mind, we might be onto something. It wasn't a bad deal either. It was like $20 for 20 shots. Like, a shooter's like $1 anyways, right? It's just a whole bag of shooters. Anyways, my week, as you know, Shot Sunday is about me. So we're gonna talk about my week. It wasn't anything too eventful. I've been really appreciating not working 3 million like overtime hours recently, like actually taking my 2 days off and not going to work. If you know what happened with one of our leaders recently, you know why I don't like being at work recently. But I also haven't been training either, which I'm going in tomorrow, right? Going in tomorrow and Tuesday and training, but then I don't work again for another week, and I'm kind of excited. Maybe I'm not meant to work 50 hours a week every single week, right? Maybe I can start to take it easy. And I'm hoping it continues to be viable for me to do that, right? I also went on a date on Thursday. It was like, she was cool and all, but I just wasn't feeling anything. Like, I didn't feel anything. And if you know me, I'm kind of like once you like really know me, you know I'm kind of like an open book, like emotionally. You know when I'm in a bad mood. You know when I'm in a really good mood. And I'm not necessarily quiet about it. But I was just kind of not interested, like, in person. But, like, our texting was fine. But we went to, like, Torchy's and Cold Stone. And it was fine, right? But I was just not feeling it. And she hasn't responded to my text because I was going to tell her after I texted her anyways. But I've been ghosted now. So I guess it saves me the trouble because I really don't like hurting people's feelings, even if it's not, like, intended to be like that. Yeah, so back to drawing board for that. What else happened? I'm going to Boston in a few days. I'm gonna go to a Red Sox game. I'm gonna get my One Piece jersey. I'm gonna go to the Sam Adams Brewery. That's gonna be fun. If you have anything for me to do in Boston, go ahead and write it down in the comments section. Because we have that now. We have a comment section now for you to engage with other Shot Sunday fans. So while you're watching this, I need to start doing this at the beginning of the video. Our goal this week is 50 views and 10 comments, right? Can we get to 50 views and 10 comments? Yeah, share it with your friends. Tell your friends about Shot Sunday. Tell your mom about Shot Sunday. Tell your dad. Tell your girlfriend. Tell your in-laws. Tell your boyfriend. Tell your partner if they don't fall into those categories, right? Tell them about Shot Sunday. I'm sure you noticed we're busting out the doof, right? This is my doof hat, right on top of Flappy. On top of Flappy Boy, we've unlocked a new partnership. But anyways, yeah, that was my week. It wasn't bad at all. This one is a maple praline, or is it praline? Praline. It's a nut. I know that. But anyways, this one's gonna go out to my good buddy Jakey for also finally getting out of this fucking department. Good for him. Truly good for him. Good for him. So cheers to Jake. Have fun at Mission Space. I'm right here, Sabrina. Don't worry. I'm sitting in the light so you can see me. Eat my carrots. Actually, hold on. Shady, come here. Shady. I'm gonna pick you up real quick. This is Sabrina's dog, Shady. Friend of the show. Friend of the show, Shady. She has a hoodie so she doesn't scratch herself. I'm sure everybody's familiar with classic friend of the show, Aaron Kemp.
That's right.
Aaron Kemp is here.
I am here, taking out the dog.
Taking out the dog, yep. Good man right here. If I were someone, I'd marry this man right now. I hope she heard that. Probably. He's probably pissed off about me standing still in the bathroom anyway. I don't even think that'd be that scary. I just opened the door and she walks out like, oh.
I think it was because she just didn't know you were home. That was what it was.
Anyways, back to our discussion. This one is hot cinnamon, by the way. I'm gonna mention that beforehand, right? So I'm assuming this is just like, yeah, that's just Fireball. Okay. Is the MCU back? Because I'm not a like MCU has been dog shit since Endgame kind of person. I think Phase 4 had some really good movies and it had some really bad movies, right? Like Ant-Man 3, kind of stinky, right? Black Widow, kind of stinky, and Eternals, kind of boring, right? Don't even get me started on the Marvels. And besides the Marvels, I didn't even really hate any of those films. I didn't think they were great at all or very good, right? On the other hand, you had, like, Doctor Strange 2, I think, was pretty decent, right? Shang-Chi, great movie, right? Guardians 3, I don't think anyone's going to really argue with you that Guardians 3 is a great movie and that the Guardians of the Galaxy as a whole is maybe up there with Captain America. It's like the best Marvel like trilogy. The Cap trilogy being original Winter Soldier, Civil War, right? Not counting Brave New World, which I've still not seen yet, and I need to see it. I hope it's on Disney Plus so I can just watch it for free. But anyways, when I'm talking about the MCU being back, I'm talking about these new movies coming out, right? We're talking about Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Brand New Day. That's Spider-Man 4 for those who don't know, and whatever the new Avengers movie, right? Because the reviews for Thunderbolts actually look really good, and I love Bucky, right? I love the Winter Soldier. So I'll watch anything with him in it. But hearing that this movie is actually like good, right? And it kind of brings you back to like, oh, this is when MCU was like at its peak, right? We're heading back towards like peak MCU times, right? And the Fantastic Four, I fucking love the Fantastic Four, right? Like I just started reading the comics recently. Like I play as all of them in Marvel Rivals. They're my like go-to character, like all four of them my go-to characters. And they have like the kind of like cheesy like old Fantastic Four suits in the movie, and they don't look bad at all. Like it looks great, right? Like if you don't know what like the old like Fantastic Four comic like suits look like, it's just like a blue jumpsuit with a 4 in the middle, right? And they all look good in it. And Pedro Pascal's in it, and all these other people are in it. I'm super excited for Fantastic Four. And that Spider-Man trailer, are we fucking for real? That Spider-Man trailer is fucking awesome. Did you see the new Spider-Man trailer?
No.
It's pretty fucking good.
When did it drop?
A few weeks ago, I guess. But
really?
It's Brand New Day. I hope that's a real trailer, but I can't verify that until.
I feel like it's not, because I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that's the name of the movie.
Yeah, the name. That's definitely the name.
I don't know if they actually dropped a trailer for that. But if that was a real trailer, that was fucking awesome. Venom's gonna be in it, and all this other shit. But bye, Shady. Anyways, MCU might be back. Feel free to fact check me on Spider-Man, but I'll have to go look for that trailer again, because I need to make sure this is a real movie that's actually going to be like that. And then Doomsday, the Avengers is going to be an Avengers film. All right, is there any bad Avengers film? And you can say what you want about like Age of Ultron, but I don't think there are any like bad Avengers films, right? So MCU might be back. MCU is back on the menu. This might be a shorter episode today. I'll be honest. I'm gonna start running out of stuff to talking about. I'm gonna have to like track it through the week and actually try to make like oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about this week, right? Because that last episode where I actually talked about like a sophisticated kids menu, I was super prepared for that, and now I'm like that had been a topic that had been burning my mind for a bit, and now that I'm sitting here like trying to make up topics off the top of my head again, it's like, oh, okay, we gotta plan a little more. Anyways, we got a third shot going out here. This one's going out to my good friend Colin Fuchs because it's his birthday. Gotta have a birthday shot for the birthday boy. Speaking of birthday boy, because Colin's been asking to get on this show for a bit, we're gonna start bringing in guest characters soon. Don't you worry. We will be involving guest characters soon. So, stay tuned. Anyway, Colin, birthday shot for you. That is indeed 35% fireball. Okay. This last one, Sweet Peach. If I had to rate, they all go down like pretty easy. Right? Because when you get like I don't know what kind of like how shitty this whiskey is initially, but like when you get like kind of like this like no name brand alcohol, usually I feel like you're getting like a pretty shitty deal, right? And you're gonna get super watered down whiskey that no one actually cares about. All right, but this tastes good, and I do feel it, right? Like, so it's not super shitty. It tastes fine. No, maybe this is a new smash hit. No, I don't know if I ranted about it earlier, but goat cheese. Yeah, I did fucking rant about goat cheese, but just in case I didn't, I'm gonna say it again. Ooh, excuse me. Whatever goat cheese I got from Target, this shit would not stick to fucking anything. Like, I'm trying to dip my carrots in it. I'm eating my Target brand baby carrots, right? Because I need to eat more vegetables. And like, I'm trying to dip it in goat cheese, and this shit fucking crumbles everywhere. And I can't even spread it. I tried spreading it on a bagel earlier last week, and the goat cheese isn't fucking spreading. What the fuck? Like, I'm just gonna buy cream cheese for everything. What? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? But anyways, you know, this is the sports section, right? And I know a lot of you guys don't like the sports section, but this is my show, so we're going to do the sports section anyways, right? Let's talk about those fucking Detroit Tigers. Let's talk about those Detroit Tigers for a little bit. We just got finished with the homestand today. 8-2, 3 of 4 from Kansas City, 2 of 3 from San Diego, which came in as the best team in baseball, by the way, right? And we swept the Orioles, right? It's time to start talking about Detroit. I think we're a good fucking baseball team, and if we're a good fucking baseball team, I'm excited for what moves we're preparing to make at the trade deadline. It's a month into the season, right? It's a month into the season. So talking about the trade deadline has been usually like, oh, who are we going to trade? You know, which one of our fucking rentals are we going to trade? But we're fucking good. If we keep this up, Detroit being buyers at the trade deadline, and it's like, I'm super excited for a lot of the people in our lower minor leagues. Like, our minors are fucking stacked right now. No diddy. Our minor league teams are fucking incredible. Like, we have a ton of talent, especially in that like low A to double A. Triple A, it's not quite working out so far, but That low A to double A range has some good fucking players in right now. We have a guy playing shortstop in Lakeland right now. He hits like every ball that comes off his bat over 100 miles per hour exit velocity. So this guy hits missiles. This guy only hits fucking missiles, and sometimes they're straight at people. But the thing about baseball, and especially that's what I kind of like about today's game evolving in the way it has, is that we shouldn't be quite as heavily relying on like batting average, right? Let's talk about batting average for a little bit. So batting average is like a super duper boomer stat, right? It's not a bad stat to keep track of, right? But when you look at like any Facebook comment about like old fucking like MLB, any MLB page, right? Oh, this guy's hitting 260. Back in my day, we did 330, right? You have to take into account pitching has gotten significantly better, right? Like Babe Ruth would shit his pants facing like any team's 4 or 5 starter these days, right? Right. So like batting averages are naturally going to go down because it works in correlation to pitching, right? And that's where like the top hitters thrive, right? That's your like Vlad Juniors, your Juan Soto's, Aaron Judge, people who like can hit at least like 280, 290, right? But you know they're hitting home runs because they are power hitters. So people like value batting average, right? But you look at the OPS of like people like Vlad Jr., like those 3 people I named, right? They're usually sitting around the high 800, like 8 to 1,000 range, right? Which if your OPS is 1,000 by the end of the season, you're having a fucking incredible season, right? But OPS is such, and I'm glad teams have started posting this on their like big scoreboard instead of batting average. Like OPS is such a great stat because it tells you how often because batting average doesn't take into account you walking, right? So if you have like an OPS of like, you can have an OPS of like 420, right? That means 42% of the time you're getting on base, right? And your batting average can be like 230. And you can have an OPS around like 800, right? So that means you're getting a hit around every 4th at bat you get a hit, right? But that's every 4th counted at bat, right? Because a walk doesn't officially count as a plate appearance, right? So you actually went 1 for 3 with a walk, right? And who knows even how much you hit that, right? So we'll use Kyle Schwarber as our example, right? 2023 Kyle Schwarber hit like 189, still had a pretty decent OPS for hitting 189, right? Because you know what 2023 Kyle Schwarber did? He hit a home run, he walked, or he struck out. That is all he did. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and tell you Kyle Schwarber is a bad hitter, right? If you know me, I fucking love Kyle Schwarber. This is one of my favorite hitters ever because he is so fucking dedicated to his craft. He gets on base somehow or he's gonna fucking strike out trying. Right? So Kyle Schwarber in 2023 had more home runs than he had singles, right? So you're gonna look me in the eye and tell me a guy with like hitting 189, 42 home runs, 90 RBIs because he's batting leadoff. Because put Schwarber back in leadoff spot, please. Please put Schwarber back in leadoff spot. Anyways, but yeah, Schwarber batting leadoff. He gets on base 38% of the time, and he's slugging like 500, right? So he's still got like an 880 OPS, but he's hitting 189, right? Because he strikes out a lot. And you're gonna look at me and tell me, oh, this guy gets on base 32% of the time and has a slugging of 400, but he's batting 300, right? That just tells me this guy's hitting a lot of singles. He's not, and that's not to devalue, your like Luis Arise, like Jacob Wilson, Nolan Shanuel. Like I'm gonna hit singles, right? And that's what I do. But like look at how terrible of a player Luis Arise is outside of hitting singles, right? Look me in the eye and tell me you'd rather have Luis Arise on your team instead of Kyle Schwarber, and I think 10 out of 10 people will tell you they'll take Kyle Schwarber. That's kind of the point I'm making. Anyways, I got a little sidetracked there. That's my the autism taking over. Detroit Tigers, we're fucking good, baby. We are fucking good. And we're coming to, oh my God, they renamed their park. Daikin Park from Minute Maid. We're coming to the Astros home to snatch their chain. Guardians are still frauds. Twins, definitely on fraud watch because of how bad their fucking season's going. Who else? Yeah, Tigers might be the best team in baseball right now. I'm not gonna lie. The Mets have a fraudulent schedule, and the AL West is pretty good. Giants are pretty good, right? And when I say the Mets have had a fraudulent schedule, it's because the Mets have played like none. If we started playoffs right now, the Mets have played like 0 of those teams. Like I think they played. Yeah, I don't think they played a single playoff team. So, we're gonna see when they actually get tested. When they play Boston, they play San Diego, they play the Dodgers, like Arizona. I think they have a stretch coming up where they play Arizona 6 games. And if you can't take both series versus Arizona, I don't think the Mets are actually all that. Which is a shitty thing to say because they were such a special story last year, but what are you going to do? Anyways, that's enough baseball talk for now. I'm actually glad I was able to educate a little bit on OPS versus batting average because batting average does not tell as full a story as OPS does, right? Or even your individual on base versus your slugging. If you don't know what slugging is, right? One last thing I promise. If you don't know what slugging is, that is like what type of hits you're getting, right? So a single is 1,000 slugging, right? So you hit a single, let's say every time you come to the plate, you hit a single, your slugging is going to be 1,000, right? And so on and so forth. 2,000 for a double, 3,000 for a triple, 4,000 for a home run, right? And since you got on base, anytime you get a hit, that's 1,000 on base, right? And this kind of averages out just like batting average, right? Like, oh, okay. So on and so forth. Like if you walk 3 times and you strike out 3 times, your on-base percentage is going to be like 500, right? Because you get on base half the time you come to the plate, right? And you didn't get a hit, so you have no slugging. So your OPS 500. OPS on base plus slugging, right? Now if you hit a home run every time you come to the plate, right? Say you come up to the plate 400 times, you get 400 home runs, right? You set the MLB record in one season, and you're probably on Hall of Fame trajectory because you're going to hit like 3,000 home runs in your career. But, right? So a home run is 4 slugging, so 4,000 slugging plus 1,000 on base because you're always getting on base when you hit a home run. So now you combine that, you have 5,000, right? So I don't know where I was going with that, but now you know what that means. Anyways, this shot's going to go out to Luigi, my favorite Mario brother and one of my 3 friends, along with Mario and Ash Ketchum, according to my mom when I was like 13. Shout out to Luigi. That's been my boy for years. All right, we're going to do a little ranking. This is going to be a long fucking episode. I hope you know that. Because I still got one more thing I really want to talk about that I meant to talk about last time I recorded, but I didn't get to it. So I'm going to have to go in order probably... Oh, that peach one was really good. I'll probably go the peach, then the praline, then peanut butter, and then the hot cinnamon. That's probably my official order for that. So anyways, I said I was going to talk about training last time, right? And I'll just make this a quick one because we're already like 30 minutes into recording, right? It's a long fucking episode. But we apparently had like 35 people put in for trainer. And it's super easy to think, you know, I'm really good at my job, which I don't doubt that some of the people put in, like, that's already a thought process, right? I'm really good at my job. I'm going to help this department, like, grow. And that's a noble idea. It truly is. But being good at your job and teaching other people to be good at their job is a wildly... It's not as easy as you think, right? And some people know, like Cadence will know this because he's trained in the past before, right? If I could just, like, every person I train just becomes like a carbon copy of me, right? Think of how, like, good this department would be. Our department, right? Our department would be so great if I could just pump out like extra Noah clones in a factory and they all drive exactly to my skill level, right? I would, like, I'd be the best trainer by far right now. But it doesn't work like that, right? You have to account for people not having a boating background, which I didn't either. I didn't have a boating background, right? And I ended up failing my first deckhand check out for it because well, I don't even think that was my fault. That was more Elon's fault. But anyways, you have to account for people not being able to process information so fast, right? So if I'm teaching you to play a game, right? You're going to do a combo, right? I'm going to tell you, you're going to do punch, kick, quarter circle, and that's more of a half circle, but you know what I mean. Quarter circle kick, and then half moon punch, right? So on paper, that seems kind of simple. You're like, oh yeah, punch, kick, quarter circle kick, half circle punch. But now you need to look down, right? Because this is your first time playing this game. And you look down and you're like, which button is punch? Which button is kick, right? And sometimes you're gonna try to do it fast just to impress somebody, and you're gonna press the wrong button, and now you drop the combo, right? That's kind of what training's like. Because you're gonna have people who have never touched a boat in their life before, have never touched a rope in their life before, like to tie a knot, like they were no Boy Scouts, none of that shit. Don't know how to tie a half hitch, right? And not that a half hitch is particularly hard, but you're gonna have people who take longer to process information, right? They need to sit through there and think step by step. And you're gonna get frustrated with these people, right? You're like, I've shown you this like 5 times. What's not getting through, right? Sometimes it's going to take them a day or two to get it. Sometimes they'll get it right away. Sometimes they'll never get it. And you know what? The sad thing is this department's not for everybody, right? As much as people love, like, oh, this is my dream role. I've always wanted to be here since I was a kid, right? Telling that old man, I'm not comfortable signing you off is not a fun thing to do. And sometimes you'll have to look someone in the eye and tell them, hey, I don't think you should be able to doing this, which I've only done once, thankfully. Thankfully, I've only done once. But if training were truly so easy that one person could fix this entire department, we would not be in the situation we're in right now, truthfully. So if you're watching this, because I'm assuming my viewer base is mostly Watercraft cast members, right? Just keep that in mind when you're training, right? You have to grant your trainees some grace, especially because you're probably going to start at deckhands and right there you're going to get some fresh-eyed, like 20-year-old straight from college, right? Never touched a boat in their life. They've ridden on boats and they've never driven one, right? Or they've never tied up anything before, right? And they're like, oh, yeah. And you say one thing and it goes in one ear, right out the other, right? And you're going to get frustrated and it's going to fucking suck. But that's kind of the fun, right? The CPs are the fun ones to train for deckhanding at least, right? Because when you get to like CPs becoming part-timers and full-timers, you've known them for a year already, right? So you have an idea of whether you like them or not. But the CPs you deckhand train are definitely like, they're the fun ones because they have that light of life in their eyes. They haven't been screwed over by this department. They've been screwed over by another department. So you're like, oh yeah, this is fucking awesome, right? Someone who actually wants to be here. They're not jaded. But I guess just keep that in mind if you're watching this and you're a new prospective trainer, is that training is not that it's not it. It's easy to say, oh yeah, just be better, right? And if it were that easy, everybody would do it. But it's not that easy. But anyways, this one's gonna go out to my GOAT, LeBron James. Lock the fuck in! Lock the fuck in, LeBron. You're down 3-1 with Luka and A. Reeves? What did you trade AD for? You can't go out sorry like this, LeBron. That's why I'm drinking to you tonight. And you got to say his name. His name is LeBron James, you know, and all that other stuff. But anyways, thanks for tuning in to this episode. This was 10 minutes longer than the last episode. So if you actually watch the whole thing, shout out to you. Comment down below what your favorite part was. And I can't guarantee the timestamps will be on this one because I'm still figuring out how this YouTube stuff works. But we'll eventually have timestamps in. I'll do another episode the week after I get back from Boston. So that'll be not next Sunday, but the Sunday after. And we'll get to it. All right. Peace out, y'all. Splash.